4th of August 2023, a beautiful Friday to you viewers. Welcome to Newspaper Review on Tab TV, and I'm going to be your anchor for today's episode. And joining me today to anchor this episode of Newspaper Review is Mr. Williams Abule.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so much for coming to the show to add your voice.
It's a pleasure.
And speaking about adding voices to the conversation, our viewers, we thank you for always tuning in. Don't forget to engage by liking, sharing, commenting, and following us all of our social media handles. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube and click on the notification button to get notified whenever we upload any new content. And back to you, Mr. Abule. Today is a Friday.
Yeah, TGIF.
Thank God it's Friday.
Of course.
Any plans?
I don't know yet, but well, we have one of the biggest festivals down here in the south holding here in Port Harcourt tomorrow. That's Bole Festival. So I plan to go there and let's see what the price of Bole is these days.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. So heading to the review for today, we are going to kick off with the Vanguard newspaper. And the Vanguard is leading with a story on page 5, which says, "We will go on indefinite strike August 14th if NLC says to the federal government." Substories there says, gives August 11 deadline for withdrawal of summons. "We will face Nigerians' challenges squarely," Tinubu says. That's on page 43. And on page 8 of the Vanguard, APC, how Ganduje emerged 6th national chair, Basiru secretary. APC, how Ganduje emerged 6th national chair, Basiru secretary. And on page 6, troops kill 36 terrorists, rescue 140 kidnapped hostages nationwide. Next, page 6, we have diphtheria outbreak claims 122 lives in Nigeria, says UNICEF. And on page 12, we have Obaseki warns of crisis without remedial works on federal roads in Edo State. That's on page 12. Still on the Vanguard, we have coup. ECOWAS delegation meets with Niger's military leader. ECOWAS delegation meets with Niger's military leader. Substories there says, restore democracy in Niger through dialogue, not force. ACF tells ECOWAS. And that's all the issues we'll be taking on the Vanguard newspaper for today. And speaking of the issue of strike, we will go on indefinite strike August 14th, says NLC. And NLC has been on this issue of strike for how many years now?
Like forever.
Forever. And it's becoming unbecoming. And now they have declared that they will be going on an indefinite strike on the 14th of August 2023. So, Mr. Abule, what's your take on this? I mean, should the NLC go on this indefinite strike?
What the NLC is saying in general is that the federal government should not provoke them into going into an indefinite strike because they are trying to avoid that at this time. They're saying that over time, the federal government has freely mount pressure on Nigerians unduly. Yeah. And right now, they are out on the streets with the protest on Wednesday saying that enough is enough, that Nigerians have gone through a lot in the hands of the immediate past administration that have malhandled and mismanaged our economy and has therefore plunged a lot of Nigerians into poverty line. Yeah. And this new administration, when they came into office, they didn't take the initiative to ease Nigerians of that, pressure. They further plunged Nigerians into, serious pain and sufferings. And so they were out on the streets to voice out their concerns and also go ahead and, plead and also prick this new government to say, you can do better. There's a lot we expect of you, and we haven't seen those moves to go to those areas like, reviewing our refineries before you remove this subsidy that has really mounted a lot of pressure on Nigerians. So that is why they were on the street. Now, they are a bit perplexed at the fact that the National Industrial Court is coming out to say that they have gone against a ruling that was supposed to keep them away from going on that protest and also a likely strike. So they have they are being charged with contempt of court.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, this is not happening. It means the federal government is not listening. They are not learning anything from what is going on around us.
Yes.
So if they're really not going to allow us have a voice, because we are the voice of Nigerians. And so if we cannot speak against the ills of government, then what is there to do? We're down tools. If we cannot reach an agreement,
Yes.
because they are saying that, okay, we had meetings with the president after the protest on Wednesday, and they were able to reach concrete agreements with the president, thereby the president assuring Nigerians that by December this year, they are going to have the Port Harcourt refinery working again. And also they're going to review salary before that time. There are a lot of agreements that they reached with the president. And for them to come out and get this sort of notice, they don't want to, they are not having it. So they are calling for a withdrawal of this charge against them before the 14th, or before the close of business, today being Friday, today 4th of August being Friday. And that if that is not happening, they are going to go on an indefinite strike beginning on the 14th of August. I don't think Nigerians want that, because it's going to really cause more anarchy in the land. Personally, I feel that the NLC has been kind of fair.
Yes,
in also, yes, they have, because before now, they haven't been out on the streets protesting. Neither have they've not done that in the last administration. Now they had to go out on the street because I think it was becoming too much.
Yes.
Nigerians were not talking, even if NSA goes on this indefinite strike, I don't think Nigerians will, I don't see a lot of Nigerians going out on the street to want to protest against anything. But it would be unfair to Nigerians, which will be the grass that will suffer when the two elephants, the NLC and the federal government, will be at each other's throat.
Yes, that's
so we hope that it doesn't get to that. And as for trying to close the mouth of NLC, to shut them down for going out to protest, that I think is, I don't know what the Nigerian Industrial Court, National Industrial Court is doing. So I don't see that as a proper move. So yeah, it should be reviewed and withdrawn as quickly as possible.
Yes, as quickly as possible. I do personally applaud the NLC for this bold move. It is a great move in the right direction for the benefit of Nigerians. And I think the federal government is underestimating the NLC in that regard, because labor is extremely important to the development of any society. So the federal government, I think you need to look into this seriously for the betterment of Nigeria. Sure. So heading over to the next review, the Daily Trust. The Daily Trust is leading with the story, "Don't invade Niger, prominent Nigerians tell Tinubu." Don't invade Niger, prominent Nigerians tell Tinubu. Sub-stories there says, asks ECOWAS to consider diplomacy, sanctions. Fear in not over mass influx of refugees, military action, last option. DHQ, Abdulsalami Sultan meets coup leaders as Tinubu's emissaries. Still on the Vanguard, on page 12, we have how Ganduje imaged APC chairman. You want to find out how Ganduje imaged APC chairman? Grab your copy of the Daily Trust and check page 12 of the Daily Trust. On page 3, we have diphtheria kills 122 children in 7 months. UNICEF. Diphtheria kills 122 children in 7 months. That's UNICEF, an international organization talking about diphtheria, killing 122 children, I beg your pardon, in 7 months. It's scary and it's alarming.
Yes,
Diphtheria,
it
is definitely alarming. This calls for serious measures. Okay, and on page 21, we have court remands husband for attempting to cut wife's breast. Really? Court remands husband for attempting to cut wife's breast. That's on page 20.
Is he a medical doctor? Why does he want to cut his wife's breast?
I don't understand. Why would you do that? I think this is a case of domestic violence.
Yeah, it must be. And then if it's not a case of domestic violence, what is he doing trying to cut his wife's breast? Is he a doctor?
Okay, so maybe the issue of anger would surface here.
Maybe, or he doesn't like the shape again. He wants to cut. There's been a lot of, body reshaping for women these days. So we don't know what the case is, but then find out details on the pages of Daily Trust.
Seriously, okay. On page 21 of the Daily Trust, that's where you can find that story. So on page 3, we have NLC threatens another strike over FG's contempt charges. Page 3 captures that very story on Daily Trust. And that's all the issues we'll be taking on the Daily Trust newspaper. So speaking of don't invade Niger, prominent Nigerians tell Tinubu. And some of the reactions or some of their fears here is there will be a mass influx of refugees. That's another issue. These Nigerians, prominent Nigerians are speaking of, and they feel that the president of Nigeria should consider diplomacy. Yes. Rather than trying to evade Niger with military actions and all of that. So, Mr. Williams, I believe, what do you think is the most democratic and most wise approach that the president of Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is also the chairman of ECOWAS, should do?
I think diplomacy, they should use diplomacy to the fullest. I say that because, yes, if you look at the architecture of the West African sub-region of Africa, most of the countries you find around the West African region are very closely knitted in terms of relationship. Here in Nigeria, people living in Niger are all over the streets of Nigeria. As some of them are here working, some of them are here doing menial jobs. Some of them are on the street as beggars, which we believe these guys are, as far as I'm concerned, are refugees in Nigeria that are depending on Nigerians through begging. And this is, I live in the South, so I see these people around us. Talk more of people living within the borders of the north, northeast and northwest that are closer to Niger. So you can imagine what will happen if ECOWAS or ECOMOG invades Niger in terms of military actions against them, trying to recover or restore the government of Bazoum. So I feel that considering all of this, the humanitarian crisis that will come up as a result of such invasion, I believe that diplomacy should be applied to the fullest. I don't think that ECOWAS should be very hasty in going on to, attack or forcefully remove this military coupist. And so, yeah, I also want to applaud the fact that it looks as though the leadership of the ECOWAS, in person of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is beginning to give a listening ear to some of these call for diplomacy. And we see recently he has sent an envoy as Abdusalam Abubakar, former president, as the leader. And they've gone ahead to have interactions with the military coupist in Niger. We are hoping that reasonable solutions will come out of these interactions or diplomatic discussions they've been having with these coupists, and it doesn't have necessarily have to lead to violence. We also know that Mali and one other African country, I can't remember now, have also come out to say that they are in full support of Nigerians, and if any military assault is meted on Niger, they are going to it's going to result to Mali being assaulted too. So they are going to come in full force to support the military coupists that live in Niger. So we don't want that to happen in this region. I believe that this sub-Saharan region has really received a lot of heat in the last few years, with having up to 7 coups happening around this region. So you can see that, yes, agreeably, there's been some instability, but I don't think we should add, how they call it, salt to the injury by going ahead to have a full-blown military response to all that is going on. So diplomacy should be applied in this case to the fullest, and sanctions too. Let's keep pumping sanctions on them The other day we saw on the reports that yes, Nigerian government has threatened to cut off electricity supplies completely to Niger. We know that that also comes with some implications because we are not just supplying them electricity. We're also dependent on Niger Republic for certain things like the free flow of water to our dams here. A few dams like Shiroro Dam, Kayenji dams, all of those situated in the northern part of Nigeria. And there is an agreement and treaty as regards those water flow. And so if Nigeria is cutting power supply to Niger, of course, we expect that some of these agreements will be broken. And so we too will have our own part. But good thing we don't solely rely on water in terms of generating electricity. So that might not really impact on our own electricity supply. But then all we're saying is, in whatever decision the ECOWAS chairman, in person of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is taking, military force should be the very, very last of the options on the table. Let's avoid it.
That is, if the coup leaders refuse, despite every sanctions and
yes, I was saying that no matter what, it should be the last option. Result. Yes, because we don't need wars. We know the huge damage and the long-term effect that war and military force can have on not just it will not be only the people of Niger. That's why most people are worried about taking that option first, because whether you like it or not, our borders are really open to this country called Niger. So by the time, and then you see that some Nigerians living in the north are married to a lot of people there. Yes, they have children and their wives are from this other end, their husband. Yes, they have intermarried and all of that. So by the time this military action happens, you see a lot of humanitarian crises that will be a burden to Nigeria as a country. We don't want that. So right now they are thinking of restoring the government, the democratic government in Niger. But they should also think of the implications, the long-term implications of the military actions that Nigeria will have to bear. Nigeria will bear that, but we don't want to know until it happens. So no, we're not capable. I mean, have we been able to handle our internal displacements that are already on ground? How well are we handling that? Have you seen people in the IDP camps? How well have we been able to take care of internally displaced people? Talk more of now accommodating people from external countries like Niger. So we don't need that at this point in time. Yes, diplomacy should be followed to the latter. I mean to say.
All right, diplomacy should be followed. It should be implemented in handling the current crisis in Niger. And as we all know, war should be the last resort. War is also a form of diplomacy anyway. However, it is the last resort that you should use. Mr. President, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Tinubu, this goes to you. Please, let's look into a more peaceable, a more democratic way to handle the dispute, the issues in Niger for the greater good of Niger and Nigeria and Africa as a whole. So that brings us to the end of the first section of the review, the newspaper review. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hey there! Are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators, and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
Welcome back, and you're still watching Newspaper Review on Tab TV. Heading over to the final review for today, and that will be the Daily Sun. And the Daily Sun is leading with the story, APC probes Adamu, others as Ganduje emerges new chair. APC probes Adamu, others as Ganduje emerges new chair. And on page 6, we have ex-governor vows to lead party with integrity, transparency, responsibility. And NWC members frown at selection of same-faith for chairman, secretary. Tinubu taxes APC leaders on good governance. Details of that story is captured on page 6 of the Daily Sun. And on page 27, we have NLC threatens nationwide strike over FG's contempt of court charges. NLC threatens nationwide strike over FG's concept of court charges. And on page 4, we have troops kill 36 terrorists, arrest 163 criminals, destroy 36 illegal refinery sites. Troops kill 36 terrorists, arrest 163 criminals, destroy 36 illegal refining sites. That's on page 4 of the Daily Sun. And on page 4, still on page 4, Nigerian military yet to receive order for intervention in Niger, DHQ. Sub-stories there says deployment of troops, fake news. That's on page 4 of the Daily Sun. And on page 8, we have 2023 WAEC results. 1.6 million candidates, no fate next week. That's for those of you who have written your WAEC exams. Just wait for your fate till next week. And still on the Daily Sun, we have refineries. Reps to revisit alleged 11.3 trillion naira spent on turnaround maintenance. Refineries, reps to revisit alleged 11.3 trillion naira spent on turnaround maintenance. That story is captured on page 8 of the Daily Sun. And on page 27, we have Pantaming's appointment. Stop persecuting our members. ASU cautions Putu VC. And that's all the stories we'll be taking on the Daily Sun. And back to page 6, where the story emphasizes on APC probes Adamu others as Ganduje emerged new chairman. Now, this is APC questioning the appointment of Ganduje, who is the former governor of Kano State. Yeah. As we all know, it's not a new story. He has been accused of corrupt actions and bribery charges. And so APC is against it. Not just APC, even PDP as well. These are two major parties in Nigeria who are against the emergence of Ganduje as the APC chair. And so, Mr. Williams, I believe, where does this take us?
Abdullahi Ganduje, the immediate past governor of Kano State, popularly known as Gandola. Yeah. How we got that name is as a result of a video that trended some years back of him stuffing up dollars, alleged bribery money that were given to him stuffing up those monies in his babariga. That's his the dress. Babariga is that the 1,500 agbada, yeah. So yeah, that's how he got his name. But now today he's the newly appointed APC chairman, and this has elicited a lot of reaction, most especially from the PDP, that are wondering how the APC openly and boldly appoints a man that has been alleged to be so corrupt and a man that should be highly investigated or should be under investigation by the EFCC. Yes. But unfortunately, he's so working free that he has also become the new APC chairman. So they are like, they wonder what the APC really stands for, because in the immediate past administration, they said, oh, you projected that we're going to fight corruption, but I mean, look how corrupt that government was. And then now, this new government, they have also seen that this new government is also following suit with what had happened in the past, because if you look at both ministerial appointments, down to the appointment of their leadership in the party, it looks as though they don't appoint people with clean records. They appoint people that are taking this position despite the controversies that trail them. So the PDP is wondering what's going on. Not just the PDP, a lot of Nigerians have also reacted, and they're like, okay, what is going on? Ganduje, all right. But then you see the president in that the National Working Committee meeting, beating it, blowing his trumpet, saying that the last election was the fairest and the APC did very well. It doesn't matter what Nigerians are trying to do, trying to tarnish the image of the APC, but they did very well. That A lot of Nigerians will say we don't know what the president is talking about, but if he's saying that the election was one of the best, we don't know. But down back to the appointment of Ganduje, can he deliver? Can he really work? Ganduje, yes, is a very shrewd grassroots politician. So we hope to see him, try to change some of these black list or black name, dark cloud that is hanging over the APC from the former leadership in terms of Abdullahi. You want to add?
Yeah, I believe it's one thing to have competence, right? But then when we don't have honesty and integrity, that will flop every single plan to have in place for any positive change at all. And Ganduje, he has been accused on countless occasions. I think that was in 2017. There's this video that went viral about him, about his alleged corruption, corrupt actions and bribery. And this video that went viral was not doctored.
Yes.
It was, I think, who presented the video? Was it EFCC, or I think there's this legitimate body that actually did that. So now, you saying that can he deliver? Can he bring the best for Nigeria? We know he's competent, but what we are questioning and what the APC and the PDP and many Nigerians are questioning here is that this man is known for his corrupt, his lack of integrity, his lack of honesty. How can we put a man like this, of this caliber, of what we have known of him, now to be in that kind of position? It's like saying it's okay to be corrupt. The system in Nigeria is, it doesn't matter, just stay corrupt, and once you're done, we're going to reward you. I mean, instead of him being investigated by the EFCC, instead of him being charged for what he has done to pay for his crimes and all of that, he's been rewarded. Yeah,
and then let's not also forget that the immediate past leadership of the APC, that is Adamu too resigned due to heavy allegation of corruption. He was alleged to have misappropriated a lot of funds belonging to the party, and he couldn't defend himself. He couldn't actually deny those allegations, so he resigned his position. And now the party is saying that they are going to go further to probe some of those misappropriations. Adamu and his national secretary, that's Omishere, they are going to probe all of that. So if the party actually forced Adamu to resign due to allegations of corruption, I wonder why they are bringing another party chairman that is not so clean, in quotes, not so clean in his records. So I hope they know what they are doing. So we are watching closely, and we also saw in that headline where some party members are complaining about the appointment of Muslims in all the key positions, starting from the presidency, the vice presidency, down to the national party chairman, and all the other rest that they are grumbling about. And they're like, okay, if at the helm of affairs of the country we have Muslim as appointed leadership from our party, why at the party level are we still doing this? The chairman and the national secretary are still Muslims. What is going on? But then I find that very funny. How they will justify having a Muslim ticket as not a problem, but are complaining at the party level that it looks like that's not justifiable. Why are they doing this? Are there no Christians that can take up this position? That is funny. You have already set a precedent. What are you complaining about? I mean, it should be normal for the APC by now that for the rest of the reign of this administration, as they go on, they should be appointing Muslims in all the positions. It's not a problem. And so far, these guys are competent enough to run or handle those positions that they are manning. Why complain? Shebi, they are the ones that said it is based on competence. It is not about, they say, how they used to say that time during the election, it's not about the self-religion, remove all those sentiments. These people can deliver. So this is the leadership, the current leadership of Abdullahi Ganduje and his national secretary, they can deliver. Leave the Muslim part. Don't complain. Oh. Leave that one. Leave that one. So I find it very funny and it sounds hypocritical. So they should. That's another thing that the APC would address in-house. But I feel that I'm shocked. I'm surprised that we hear some factions of the party complaining as per why they have a Muslim appointment at the helm of the affairs of the party. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Abule. There are so many issues here to tackle when it comes to this particular appointment of Mr. Ganduje. Some Nigerians are complaining it's tribalistic, it's religious, but why are we so surprised? The nature of Nigerian politics has always been based on religion and ethnicity, so it's not surprising. And we have already said the president by electing the president and the vice president who are of Muslim faith to represent the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So we should not be surprised that this is happening at this point.
Yeah.
However, we should do our part. Let us pray, and let us also keep doing the little we can do as patriotic citizens. Let's voice out, let's talk, let's add our voice to the conversation, and let's pray for our leaders, and let's pray that they will do the right thing so we'll all benefit. And that brings us to the end of this newspaper review for today. You're joining us for the first time, this is Newspaper Review. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media handles, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok, and on YouTube. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel to get notified whenever I upload any new content. And that is all we have for you today. I remain your host, Alvi Iwese Jodina. Until we come your way again next time, bye for now.